And we're live.
We are by the skin of our teeth and 5 minutes late because Sarah could not pay attention to time today. So completely my fault. I thank all of you for being patient and giving me some grace. And it's funny because you guys even sent like 10 messages and I heard beeps. I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is.
Well,
I sent you a message.
Anyways, so I need to give one of you guys my phone number, I think, like so you could be like, so are you ever getting online? But how is everyone doing?
Yeah,
great.
We're doing.
Okay. So I want to know what everybody did this weekend, primarily because I want to tell you what I did this weekend. So that's selfish. So Carol, tell me what you did this weekend. Anything exciting?
Not really. I probably went out with friends, but I was very intent on getting posts done for my big launch, which launched today.
Oh
and
yeah, that came out.
I've been really busy with putting in orders, and I got a little video coming out, and you probably saw launch today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited, and I've been on it 2 days. I swear I feel more energy, but I think it must be in my head. It takes more than 2 days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
So it's all in my
gives
head
you a
right
little more
now.
energy, right? Yeah.
But in 2 weeks, I might feel a difference by then.
Sure. But sometimes that excitement can give you a boost of energy, right?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Really, it does.
Mm-hmm.
So what about you, Forrest? What'd you do this weekend?
This weekend, I actually we had a big project at my Kingdom Hall, and we did yard work. So I got to ride a riding mower for the first time in my life.
Like those zero turn ones?
I was just going to say, was it a zero turn?
Our lawn people do those, and I want to go out and ride one. That and a Zamboni.
That's fun.
Yeah. They can be very messy, though.
I can imagine. I
got grass all over me.
Yeah, but it was a little fun, right?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
So it must be because my husband would never let me use it. He was sick once and I used it. And no, he liked it. And same with plowing the snow. He loved it.
Well, there is a technique to it. If you don't do it right, it'll give you an uneven cut. So I can understand why he's protective of his riding mower.
Okay.
All right, Dom, what did you do this weekend?
Good evening, Michael.
Good evening, Michael.
Good evening.
I haven't really done that. I didn't really do that much. I had a in-person networking. Hey, Jody. In-person networking.
Okay.
And that was probably 4 or 5 hours, and that really took a lot out of me. I had a rest on Saturday. Went to my football on the Saturday night. Had a rest on Sunday, and finally saw the sun after probably 5 or 6 days.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad you found sun.
And we're nudging the 60s. Just so you know.
I have to go 1 minute.
Okay.
Just step away.
I'm just trying to mute.
All right, you're muted. Okay. So yes, you have had a problem with the sun this time of year. That is for sure. Are you saying 60s Fahrenheit to convert for us?
I say it in Fahrenheit when everybody else is in the...
No, I just didn't. I was like 60s Celsius. You're dead, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, borderline. I don't think you could go outside. So it's like those weathermen every once in a while where they mess up the temperature on the map, and they're like, "Well, everyone in Minnesota is dead." And then they go out it says it's like 13,000 degrees or something.
Yeah, as I said, I generally, when I get on a panel show with people from America, I always do it in Fahrenheit just to keep you happy. So you know what the hell I'm talking about.
Much appreciated, Dom.
But yes, the conversion does help for sure.
And it's that time of the year when we're going to get near the 70s.
Love it.
Okay.
So here is still hotter than Hades. And it was like 90 some the whole weekend, basically. So Forrest, you're going to get 90 some in a day or two, because you always get, if you're not
I
already.
think I think Wednesday and Thursday it's gonna get warmer. We're not expecting it to be 90 some, so it's gonna cool down by a few degrees by the time it gets here.
Perfect. Well, I'm happy for you, because Friday I was out and about. And I don't want to get political. So, I mean, if this isn't your cup of tea, then just go with its history. I went to the Obama Presidential Center and Library, and it was amazing.
I want to go there.
You really should. It was an experience. And we didn't even get, because it was hotter than Hades, we didn't get to a lot of the outdoor parts of it, because it's a huge kind of sprawling campus. So we did the library and then the indoor part of the presidential center, and it was, I mean, like I said, we didn't even see everything, and we only went to one floor of the library, and it was 4 hours.
Wow.
It's just huge, with so much to look at, a lot of interaction. And by the way, even the kid interaction stuff, they let adults do it. So, just letting you know, in case you want to go push buttons and learn about the amendments and things.
Yeah.
So it is very fun and very interactive, and lots of just things to look at. So if you have a chance to make it to Chicago, do it. But also, I do recommend that if you live close to a presidential library or presidential museum, because a couple of them have both. Like in Michigan, there's a Ford Museum and a Ford Library. And I've been to both. And yes, I'm a little bit of a nerd, but it's history, right? It's whether it's your political viewpoint or not, it is just really good history. And if we don't pay attention to history, we repeat it, right?
Exactly.
So,
George Santayana said that.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, that's why I want to get to the African American Museum in DC before they release it.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the Holocaust one, and oh boy, was that an eye opener.
Yeah, I need to go there too.
Oh, wow.
There's a section in the Holocaust Museum dedicated to Jehovah's Witnesses called Yellow Triangles, I believe it's called.
Oh.
Purple Triangles. That was our symbol in the Nazi camps during World War II.
I don't remember it, but I remember how subtle it was that they pushed people into a certain way of thinking. It was very subtly done, but pretty fast, but subtle. Scary.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's all history that we should be apprised of, for sure.
It is. But I don't want to get too far into that. If we want to talk about historical places we've all been, we can do that on a different call. But
we can do that another time.
I do believe that Forrest has a topic for today.
Yes, the topic for today would be, how do you successfully scale a business? And when I say scale a business, I'm talking about not only growing the revenue, because that's all part of scaling. Everybody wants to make more money. Sure. But how do you do it in such a way that you can support the growth and keep your customers happy? So we're talking about long-term sustainable growth. And that's been something that's been on my mind a lot lately.
Okay. So my first thought, the first thing that just popped into my head, maybe it can start the conversation, is never be afraid to like try a new idea, right? Like, so a lot of people think I've always done it this way and that's what's made me consistent money, right? And oh, that's a crazy idea, I should never try that. Giving something legs for a little while to try it out. And that doesn't mean that you necessarily have, you know, a HR and leadership company and now all of a sudden I'm, you know, I don't know, talking about the stars and astronomy. Like, that's ridiculous, right? That doesn't have anything to do with what I'm doing. But giving something legs, an idea of a new way to get the information out there, that's kind of what I mean.
And that's
kind of
pretty much an adjacent.
what?
Hello, Mars.
Hey.
That's pretty much an adjacent topic where if you're doing something in HR and then you just expand on that topic, and expanding on that topic then moves you to a higher plane is what I feel it. But from another point of view, and I won't use the actual terminology, but it's pretty much you've got to be in the FAFO camp. Because sometimes if you play around with certain things, you might learn something new. And this goes back to the original topic of you saying we've always done it this way, so we're going to continue to do it that way and play safe. Mm-hmm. So you get to the other point where when you actually look at it, it goes down the Groundhog Day route, as in the Bill Murray movie, mm-hmm. where you just do exactly the same because you want to play it safe. And mm-hmm. And I've done several topics on the whole Groundhog Day thing, because you've got to get to a point where if you're going to go forward, you've got to try something new. And you've also got to roll the dice sometimes. And if you roll it and it works, then it's great. But if you roll it further and it doesn't work out, then you're back to square one where you started. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you've got to roll the dice to go forward.
True. So the rolling of the dice and the comments you made about, I believe you made a comment about things not working anymore as you go on. So that then brings up another point. When you talk about scaling, and this is something that I explore deeply in the book, 10X is easier than 2X. What do you think is your best method when it comes to scaling up your revenue? Do you think that, and here's an example, do you think that it's, well, in January, I did $10,000. So in February, I should be able to bump that up to 12. And then in March, I should be able to bump that up to 15. And then in April, 17. And then May, 20. That gradual bump up, do you think that that's a more efficient way? Or do you think that a more efficient way would be to say, well, I've been doing 10. I think I would like to jump to 100.
Okay, I want to make a comment here, because what brings in that revenue? I mean, you're talking about dollars and cents, but think, how do you get those dollars and cents?
That is the question. That's always
for me. It's customers, right?
That's
customers wanting what you want. So I feel it's all a numbers game. How many customers can you get interested in what and excited about what you're doing that you can teach them? And one thing I do might blow your mind. I had, when I was really working at this at the most, I had a long list of everybody I knew. And because my other business is a dowsing business, I dowsed every single person. So I found that out of 100 people, 10 people would be interested in listening to what I have to offer. So I would find those 10 and not even call the others because it's wasting my valuable time. And sure enough, all 10 would be interested because dowsing doesn't lie. And so that's how I built my business, through dowsing and knowing that it's a numbers game. The more people you get, the more revenue. So instead of thinking revenue, I was always thinking, how many people can I talk to in a month? all right, how many can I talk to in a week and narrow it down? And if you were selling, let's say, vacuum cleaners or full brush or all these things that go house to house or used to, they don't get anything unless they sell something, right? So
Sure.
it's all about bringing in new customers. And you know,
Right.
if you want me to teach you to douse, I will teach you how to douse. But for me, that worked. It saved me a ton of time. And so I did really well. And yes, my volume of what I was selling it got very high. And I won some honors for highest volume in the company because I had a secret of
Okay.
dowsing.
All right.
And I didn't
So,
waste my time.
so
Yeah,
you're
At
talking
the same
about
time, just selling more widgets doesn't mean
What
that you're
was that
gonna-
again, Dominic? Say it again.
just selling more widget doesn't mean that you're going to sell more stock. Doesn't mean that it's going to 10x your business because you did 10 times the amount.
But you want to keep the customers you had too.
Oh,
And
obviously.
Yes, and usually if they felt a lot better,
So-
they would order again. And
So
I
the
was so
thing-
confident in what I had that most of them felt better if they tried a certain 2 or 3 things.
Sure. So the way I look at this, though, is I agree, right, that you have to get more customers to make more money, right? You have to keep your current, you have to get more. There is a level a little bit, though, with what Forrest and I do, that eventually we don't have the same customer, right? They might get another product that we have or something to that effect. But a lot of times we want them to, get out of the nest. Right, like for lack of better terms. At least I'm speaking for myself. Forrest can look at his from a different point of view if he wants in a second. But for me, when I get a client, right, eventually I want them to get out of the nest and refer me to other people. And so, how do you get those new customers? And I know how I have been working on that, but how do each of you, like, what is one tip or trick that you can give to people watching of how to find that new customer, at least within your industry?
Give them an incentive. Like they get $10 from the company and $10 from me for referring someone. The person
That becomes a referral system.
refers the person, so they get $20.
Sure.
And I haven't pushed that enough. I think a lot of them have forgotten. And that is a good way. Plus, the new customer, because they were on a referral, gets $10 off their first order. So, yeah, it's kind of a win-win.
What about you, Forrest? What's your main tip or something you could give people to find that new customer?
Well, there's 2 things. You want to get testimonials because those are powerful. And if at all possible, don't let it be a written testimonial. Let it be a video testimonial. Then nobody can say, oh, you just made up that person's name and wrote it and stuck it on your website. A video testimonial, at least for the present, is pretty reliable. We all know there's AI out there, but we're still going to go with the video testimonial.
Well, and you can always take a quote out of that testimonial too. Like if you want it to be written somewhere.
Yeah, you can
know
do
what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah,
the video gives that double-edged kind of concept of
right,
usefulness.
right. And then the next thing that you want to do would be similar to what Carol does. What I do is if you refer someone to me, then I will pay you X amount depending on what package they get from me. Now, what I'm doing, right?
Bless you.
Excuse me. What I've been doing, working on lately, I should say, is formal affiliate links. So I want to get a system in place where I assign a link to you. And when you publish that link out there, if somebody clicks through to it, it gets tagged with your name. That way I know that even if a year from now that person decides that they want to buy something from me, then I know, oh, that person came through Carol, that person came through Dom, that person came through Sarah, and I will pay you accordingly. So incentivizing is good. getting more customers is good, but there's something else when where time is limited. For instance, when I first started this, my goal was charge X amount of dollars an hour, get a bunch of clients, and make a lot of money. Time is finite. At most, you have 12 hours in a working day. To be practical, you've got
Sure.
12 hours in a working day. In that day, you have to do admin stuff. You have to create content. You have to schedule sales calls. You have to close people. Then you have to actually work with the people that you work with. So a tiny percentage of your day can be devoted to actually fulfilling customer orders, whether that order is a product or service. So when I talk about scaling, I'm talking about how do you ramp up your revenue knowing that time is finite?
Mhm.
What you do. So in Carol's situation now, I don't know with dowsing how you work with people. Do you do it in a group? Do you do it one-to-one?
Oh no, I take the list and I go down through the list and douse. Would they be open to what I have to offer to
Okay.
feel it better? Yeah, that's
Right,
how.
right. So I'm talking past that. All right.
Okay.
So you've gone down the list, you've got the people, you've got the actual clients. How many can you handle at one time?
Well, I always did only 3 a week because I
Okay.
only could do it justice if I
All
did 3 a week.
So
That was my goal.
So then for you, scaling would be how do you break past 3 a week? Because you're self-capping your business when you say I can only handle 3 a week. So then the question there would be, in order to scale your dowsing business, how do you make it so that you can handle more than 3 a week? Or
Maybe
once you
you'd have to become more efficient.
Or could you bring people onto your team?
I do. Well, I do have teams, and my goal is to get them self-sufficient so they can run their own business. But they're under me until they can learn, and then they go out and do their own thing.
And do
Okay,
you get a percentage of that?
Yes, I do.
and you get that percentage in perpetuity?
Yes,
All right,
money.
cool. So then there's your scaling thing. How about you, Dominic? How would you scale your drone business?
There is the other topic we haven't discussed, AI agents.
Okay.
Because what you can do now with the technology we have, you can actually turn them into workers for you, and you just let it go in the background, and it does basically everything for you.
That's part of it, yes. Yeah, and I had a good experience with that last week because I actually used Claude to prospect for me, and it was incredible.
Really? How'd that work?
It worked beautifully. And the beautiful thing about it is I just thought to myself, what can I use Claude for? And I said, okay, Claude, I've heard some chatter about using Google Maps to prospect. And Claude said, yeah, that's something you could do. So I gave Claude the parameters of my ideal customer. It asked me some questions, and then it went out and I gave it towns and zip codes to actually prospect in. It ran in the background and gave me clean lists of people to contact that fit my ideal. And it condensed hours of work into minutes. So then I had my list right there that normally would have taken me many, many hours to go through and test this person and see whether or not that's a good person or not. So that's one example of what Dom is talking about.
Yeah. Using the technology for your own benefit.
Right.
Because we can all say, oh yeah, we'll just go out and you're one person. So it's easier and cheaper to go with the AI agent. One, because they don't sleep. They don't need rest.
Mm-hmm.
They can work when you're asleep.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we're all about revolutionizing. We're working smarter. We're not working harder. Because
Right.
if you want to say 10 times your business, when you look at it, 10 timesing it means that you have to do 10 times the work. Why not let someone else do it when you're asleep as well?
I'm glad you made that statement, because people might think when you say 10x, it's a linear progression of 10 times the work.
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
I think.
But if you would read that book, 10x is easier than 2x, you would see that it's actually not. In order to go 10x your business working linearly, and you say, well, it's so you just do 10 times the work. Yeah, you can hire the people, but at some point, even that becomes unsustainable.
Mm.
So the question is, what do you do at that point? Because I'll give you an example that was perfect from the book. This guy had a truck, it was a trucking company, a logistics company. And he was doing about, and I'm just going to use round numbers. It's the process that matters here.
Sure.
He was doing about $1 million a month. And he was like, well, how do I get my business from $12 million a year to $40 million a year? So the natural person would think, well, you just got to get more business. That meant other things as far as other trucks, other drivers, more insurance, and things like that. He looked at it and he said, okay, what's the most profitable part of my business? So 80% of his business was normal, pick it up, boxes, widgets, whatever, deliver it here and there. But 20% of his business was what they call special care cargo. That was stuff that may have been hazardous or required special care. It was multiples more profitable than the general delivery stuff. So he decided to himself, okay, sales team, we are no longer going to get new general delivery business. And as the general delivery business contracts expire, we're not going to get any more of that. We'll maintain the people who want to stay with us, but we're not getting any more. So the sales team panicked, what? How are we going to make money? But they found that by focusing on the special delivery stuff, which was multiples more profitable, and mind you, less hand-holding and care intensive, they were able to 10x their business in a matter of months while doing less work. So the answer is not, well, let's just do 10 times what we're doing. The answer is, what's the one lever we can pull that matters here that will get us the result more than what we've been doing now? And that's why the book 10x is easier than 2x makes sense, because it forces you to think in different ways that you're not currently thinking in. So for instance, with Carol's dowsing things, she said, well, three dowsing customers a week is comfortable for me. What if really 3 is not, but 6 is? So she gets to 6, and now that's the ceiling. But she still wants to make $1 million a year. Now what does she do? She's forced now to stop doing business the old way and think of how she can take her business to the next level using something she hasn't even thought about before, which will probably make her life easier while exponentially growing her income.
Mm.
And that's the real key to scaling. Finding the one thing that moves the lever multiples rather than just doing business as usual.
And I want to add the concept of Occam's razor. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Is
It was
yeah.
William of Ockham.
Mhm.
And to explain it to everybody else, and I'll explain it as though everybody else is a 5-year-old child, so it's very simple. It basically means when two explanations both fit, the simpler one is better. Don't invent extra monsters under the bed unless you need them.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
when you've got two ideas and that not necessarily conflict, but if one of them is simpler than the other, you want to go down to the lowest common denominator and
Mhm.
do what you need to do to get what you need, and what you want.
Well, and I think that comes into a lot of the HR conversations I have with businesses. If you ask somebody directly, do you think you should do A or B? Right? There is an ethical and unethical choice on the table. Most people looking straight at you know the best choice, right? But they need somebody to walk them through that. And I can't be that person like Carol. Like, I can't be everywhere for everybody. So I would love to try to be at this point, but I can't do that in long term. So you have to create things that they can use outside of your services, right? So I have been creating templates for things, different things that they can buy and use on their own without having to have me in the room with them. And I'm thinking of Carol, like eventually, Carol, I think, and I don't know if you have this, but
I do.
having a training. No, I know you have that. I'm saying, like, if you had training videos so that you didn't actually have to train people directly, right? Something like that, that would give you time back. Go ahead, Forrest. You had a thought on that, getting time back concept.
Yeah, no, I was enjoying what you were saying. Yes, and that really comes from, like Dominic mentioned, Occam's razor. There's the Pareto principle,
Sure.
and that says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your activity, and it carries across all industries and all activities and things like that. Like, for instance, even in an orchard, they'll find that in the farming application, 80% of the produce will come from 20% of the field. It's amazing. On a sales team, 80% of the revenue will be generated by 20% of the salespeople. So it's just like this proven principle, the Pareto principle. I had to look it up. Pareto principle is it carries across. So the question is that you ask yourself when you're looking to scale, or even when you're doing each one of your daily schedules, is what is the 2 or 3 things, or even the one thing that's going to move the needle the most today? And I have discovered recently that I was spending too much time creating content.
Okay.
For the return that it was giving me. And so you'll see a major shift in
I've seen
in
it
that.
already. I've seen
Like,
it.
yeah, like I see people pushing out and they're posting 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day.
I don't
And
have the time for
great.
that.
That's great if it's getting you an exponential return, but
Yeah.
if you're doing all of that work and it's still not moving the needle, then you're focusing on the 80% of stuff that's really not moving you anywhere.
And then that also brings us back to the Eisenhower matrix of priorities as well. So where
That's a new one. I never heard of that one.
You've never heard of the Eisenhower matrix?
No.
Oh, okay. Look it up. Someone actually explained that to me probably about 2 or 3 months ago. And what you do is you prioritize things in a fashion where it makes you feel happy. And if you're doing things that you don't like, then you're not going to be the best version of yourself. So you prioritize things that you feel are the best. Yes.
it's the 4-box thing for us, where it's like urgent, not urgent,
Mhm.
and like it's a variety of people have used it, but it started out as
Right.
something
And
official.
that's cool if you focus on doing the things that you like. However, there is another person who came up with something, and I think this was Jim Rohn, and he said, if you have to do something that's undesirable, but there's no way around it, then make that your first thing that you do each day. In other words,
True.
eat the frog. Eat the frog. If
Get
you
it
have to
over
eat a
with.
frog, right?
Eat it first thing
Get
in the
it over,
morning.
eat it
Whenever
first
I
thing in the
understand
morning, get it over with. There's a lot of things that we like to do that are pleasant. I like coaching people. Love it. Love talking, giving seminars and webinars. However, the stuff I don't like doing is picking up the phone and talking to people or sending out emails to get business. I don't like it. I'm gonna be very honest with you, and I dare you to find a large percentage of entrepreneurs out there who are like, oh, I love looking for new business. It's the thing that makes me get out of the bed every morning. Get out of here. No,
Nobody likes it.
right, but you have to do it. Or you don't have a business.
That's right. And if you don't do it, there goes the business.
Exactly, there goes the business.
Yeah.
So now, you may not be the one that does it. So if we follow Dominic's principle, maybe you say to yourself, I hate this. I'm really not good at it. Now I'm going to pay somebody to do it for me.
Sure.
And then you can either set up an AI agent to go do that prospecting for you, or you hire somebody who is expert at building those systems that can go out there and prospect for you. Then it's getting done, and you're staying in your strength where you are, which is another part of scaling. And that is staying in your lane and trusting other people to do the things that they're better at than you are.
And I 100% agree with that, because one of the things that I have been doing in the last 3 months primarily, and I will be exponentially doing it more, is partnering with HR firms that handle the big things in like fractional HR. Because what it is they have a lot of clients that come to them that aren't ready. And so now my services get you ready for your first hire. Right? These fractional companies come in and they want everything kind of set, and they just take over. And so I'm now getting referrals for those things. I've sent out an agreement. He wants to talk tomorrow about the scope, but it's the concept that finding those people and even partnering with them, let them do their thing that they do well. You do your thing and refer back and forth. It can work.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I like the idea that you had Claude doing a lot of the prospecting.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you probably pay for your Claude.
$20 a month.
Yeah, because I have GP Chat that I pay for. I wonder if they could do the same thing.
I have both of them, and no,
Me
they
too.
cannot do the same thing.
They can't.
Claude has this function called co-working, and it allows it to do things in the background and manipulate the tabs that it's in. So I'll give you a perfect example. Today, I opened up my Claude bot in my YouTube tab, and I said, I want you to go back over the last year, look at my videos, and see which ones got the most likes and the most comments. And so it did that while I was working on some other stuff, and it produced a report. Very simply, handed it to me. I took that report and put it into my other Claude app, which is my overarching thing. And I said, here's the report that the Claude Tab app came back with. I want you to look at this. And I have a board. I've created a virtual board, when I tell you, consisting of Myron Golden, Cody Sanchez, Jim Rohn, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, and I forgot the other one or two people that's in it.
Okay.
Claude then clones their personalities. And then when I ask it a question of my board, it actually answers in their voice and gives me the top 2 or 3 people best suited to answer that. And they each give me an answer in their voice. It is amazing.
And they don't even know about it?
No, why would they know about it?
But it just goes to them and picks out their personality.
Yeah,
and
Claude will do
my
deep
gosh.
research. It will grab everything about them, their tone, their knowledge, their teachings, their structure. Oh, Tony Robbins is another part of it.
Yeah, I like it.
And so it's amazing how it will grab the people who are best suited to answer that thing. And you can instruct it to say, if I ask a question about this, don't you dare ask that person for an answer because they're not well suited. For instance, you wouldn't ask Jeff Bezos about relationship advice. You just wouldn't.
Exactly.
You wouldn't ask Steve Jobs about relationship advice. That's just not the person. However, when it comes to different areas, each person has their lane. AI shortcuts the time. It shrinks it down so drastically that I can move so fast now. I can pivot so quickly and come up with solutions and answers and things.
Yeah.
It just
I am with you.
minds. But you have to know how to use it. You got to know how to use it. You got to know the right prompts.
And I use both Chat and Claude. I pay for both of them because they really do, and we're not going to get into it more right now. They really do vastly different things.
Week, then.
Yeah.
How AI can impact your life in a positive way, right? Or you talk about banh mi sandwiches on Saturday and AI is throwing things into your feed on Sunday, which is exactly what happened to me. Okay, so we are at 42 minutes. So just in case people don't know us, let's go around the horn and do a quick intro because we didn't start out with that. And then Dominic can run us, he'll end it and do his ending thing. So Carol, who are you?
I'm Carol Gator. I'm from Florida, USA, and I am a longevity mentor. And I am extremely excited right now about a launch that we launched today that makes your cells 8 years younger. And who wouldn't want to look and feel 8 years younger? And I'm using a test group of those who are already bought it and are going to start trying it when they get it. And anyone out there want to be 8 years younger? Talk to me.
And what's funny in my head right now is I wouldn't mind being 8 years younger in just physicality, but my 8 years ago, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it helps your.
I loved my 7 years ago, right? But my 8 years ago, I'm not sure about that.
It's your cells, not what you went through.
Not your brain, right?
That just went into my head, though. I'm like, oh. All right,
you might not want to go through what you went through.
Right. All right, Forrest, who are you?
So I am a business freedom strategist, and I help business owners make their businesses more profitable, buy back their time freedom so that their business is not so owner dependent on them, and build the value of the business so that if and when you decide you want to cash out and go live in Florida or Tijuana or wherever you want to go, you can sell your business quickly and at top dollar.
I love it. I love it. And I just realized, Dom put his company down there. I was like, I need to put my title, not my company. But so I'm with Off the Beaten Path Consulting, and I build HR and leadership programs for small and medium-sized companies. And I do leadership coaching for individuals occasionally. But all of that is really boring. So I develop different things like adult coloring books or coloring books for adults, as they are. And I'm also creating a children's leadership series right now. So that's kind of fun. That's what I do in I need to get out of business mode and do something creative. All right, Dom, who are you? And end us out.
Dominic from Moorside Hawk. I create high quality aerial visuals for your business, for your property, for your event, and I don't do weddings. We need to finish on a mental health note firstly. We'll just take a few seconds to discuss that. Mental health doesn't always scream. It sometimes it whimpers, it stays home, it stops caring, and it gives up. Sometimes the person laughing is the hardest, fighting a war that nobody can see. So check in, listen, speak up, ask twice. You may never know what someone is carrying, and sometimes there is everything they need. And on that note, I have to finish off on this. I was just reading that scientists have recently grown vocal cords in a petri dish. The results speak for themselves.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, that's good.
It was wonderful.